Hey, you guys, Tricia Turner here with another episode of Anything But Average Achieving Success in Life. This is my good friend, Cindy Joseph, who I have with me today. And Cindy, we have several things in common now. We're both in real estate and have been in real estate for years. Now we're both with EXP because she just switched over with us, and we're both on the American Dream TV show. So we have lots of things to talk about today, and I'm super excited about all of this that's going on with us. So I want, Cindy, for you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in real estate, what company you came from, and what part of the United States you are in, please.
Awesome. Hi, Tricia.
Hi.
Okay. So a little bit about myself. I've been in real estate for just under 10 years, and I'm actually in the Dallas area. So I serve all North Texas. So Carrollton, Plano, Frisco, the Colony. So anything North Texas that's in the Dallas area is really where my team serves our clients. And I actually started my career at Keller Williams. And then I joined a smaller brokerage. They're called Fathom Realty. And then just a couple of days ago, I made the transition, and here I am at EXP, and I'm so excited.
Okay, so now what was, I got to ask this, what was one of the first things that attracted you to EXP? Because at Fathom, I know you were comfortable there, you knew how their systems worked, and you really weren't looking to make a change. So what was it that attracted you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really wasn't looking to make a
No.
change. I was very comfortable. And I think that's when I realized, especially during the times that we're in, that I wasn't stretching myself. I didn't quite feel that I had, the tools or the resources in place to grow the team. And during all of this quote unquote kind of self isolation, it's given me a lot of time to really reflect and analyze and really look at the processes that I had in place. And it was interesting, Trisha. I saw, something that you had posted, and I saw one of your shows, and I was like, you know what? I need to reach out to her and find out exactly what it is that she's doing, and, what are some of the, tools that they have in place to grow your business. And, once I spoke with you, I was like, oh my goodness, like the light bulb came on, and I was like, okay, all right, I know I've been kind of semi complacent and comfortable. I'm like, I need to stretch myself and stretch the team. So the rest was history.
And so when you first looked at it, like, because you do a high volume of business too. So like a lot of people talk about EXP, they're nothing but a bunch of recruiters. Clearly that wasn't what you were looking at. You're doing a big business. You already run a team. What it so far has been like the biggest thing that you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I have access to this now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, that is the thing. I do have, a decent team, and we do a lot of transactions through the year. I usually do between, 50 plus myself. So it was about finding ways to be more efficient and to, really increase the team. So what I realized very quickly with EXP was that a lot of the things that, I was trying to figure out on my own, they're already out there.
Yes.
So the tools, ways to build your brand, right? To really increase market share. That's there. So I'm like, why am I spending so much time trying to reinvent the wheel? I was like, I need to be, one of those top agents that works, smarter and not always so much harder trying to redesign and redevelop things that are already working flawlessly. So
Yeah.
the technology was like, boom. I love
It's
it.
crazy. So when you started in real estate in Keller Williams, how long were you an individual agent before creating your own team?
Yeah, so I was actually only at Keller Williams for a year. I was,
Okay.
an independent agent with them, and I hit my cap really quickly, and I was like, you know what? I can do this. So I just decided to kind of spread my wings, and I went to, the smaller brokerage, and I was with Fathom for, I guess, 3 years before I finally decided that, you know what? I could absolutely do this and get a team going. So I've had a team now for, I guess, about 4.5, 5 years.
Okay. And your team that you have, haven't you guys all been together pretty much that whole time too?
Yeah, we did. We've
Mhm.
so when I joined the previous brokerage, that's where, I formed the team. So majority of the team actually came from other brokers. So I didn't know anybody when I made the switch. So I just started doing some recruitment and just started talking with people that I had, done some previous transactions with. And at that point, I mean, it still was a fairly small team. There was 7 of us, but we were big time powerhouse. So just, in the last year and a half, actually 2 of the members decided to go independent. So that was kind of, it was a transition, but I knew they were
Sure.
ready. They were absolutely ready to kind of spread their wings, and they've been amazing. So I was happy to be able to assist in their development. But yeah, but
Now,
right now the rest of us are together.
are you looking to continue to grow your team?
I am. Yeah, that was one of the things that really attracted me with EXP, was being able to take where we're currently at to, just a completely different place. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm really going to be focused on is, growing the team.
Yep. You have to, because if you study all of the real estate stuff, which I know that you do, it's like everything that you look at for what's projected in the future is the team model, the mega team model, the large team models. And when you look at, like, here in Houston, there's a couple of mega teams and they've been around for a while, and so everyone expects them to do big numbers. But now the consumer is really looking for that experience. They're like,
Yes,
like, you go in there with your team and you guys can do so much more versus just the individual agent. And so
absolutely.
many people look at, like you just said, trying to reinvent the wheel. And it's like, you know what? Why are you trying to do that? You can go further faster when you do things together, you know?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that's been, like, for me, when I tell all the agents here that are with me, it's like I was an individual agent for years. And in Houston it's very competitive, and I'm sure it is there too. And so there wasn't always people reaching out going, hey, come with us, let me show you this, and hey, why don't you try this? And that, for me, as soon as we switched over to EXP, it was like the biggest eye opener ever, was the collaboration. I know you're early in, but are you already seeing signs of that outside of what you and I do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had, quite a few different people reach out to me and, let me know that, hey, I'm here, I'm working on your behalf. Let's schedule times to run through systems. I just downloaded that workplace chat, and I can already see the collaboration with everyone in there, seriously wanting
Yes.
everybody to be successful. And I think that's one of the beauties of joining EXP, is that it really does feel like everybody is in it together, and you want everyone to be successful, which is
Yeah.
what it should be. So,
Well, even, I don't know a lot about Fathom, so I can't speak for them, but a lot of other independent brokerages, when you look at the numbers and when you know what the broker owners are doing, a lot of them aren't profitable. They don't pour a lot into the business. They kind of expect the agents to do it all on their own. And most agents don't know where to get all the systems and tools from. It's like it's like a hodgepodge of stuff.
yeah,
And with our model, especially at EXP and our group, it's like
yeah,
we have the top people across the world as part of us. So it's like, who does not want to be part of that and learn from people like that? It makes you level up.
absolutely. Yeah. No, very true. And I think that's one of the things that really attracted me to EXP, is the fact that there are so many things out there for you.
Mhm.
And I know when I started to do kind of like the exploring phase and I was in the EXP world, I mean, that is just mind boggling.
Isn't it?
I'm
It's
still just
crazy.
it's I was actually chatting with a few agents the other day, and I was sharing with them what this is about, and they were like, "What?" I was like, "You got to see it." Like, I can't even put it into words what it is, but it is unbelievable. So
It's
it
crazy.
makes me really excited to know that I'm, a part of something much bigger
Mhm.
than myself, right?
Yep.
Or even my team, and that's gonna take us just to different places.
Well, it's so weird that you made this transition now because, 2020, as everybody knows, it's the weirdest year ever in history. Nobody knows even what to expect tomorrow. Every day is a new surprise. And so through this year, there's a lot of transitions, but there's a lot of fear. And for you to make this kind of a leap during this year of uncertainty, speaks volume. And I'm honored that you trusted us to definitely guide you through this. And so with all of leading up to this, what do you think, if when you look back on where you were, what are some of the things that you wish you would have done differently for those that are watching? Like, what are things you wish you would have done differently in building your business versus where you're headed now?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, 2020 has certainly been an eventful year, no doubt about it. So I think in some regards, though, it's really helped us, kind of take a step back and really kind of do some reflection and kind of some self-diagnosis. And that is one of the things that I really am, I guess, grateful for, was that I was able to go in and look at the systems that I currently am using and the tools and just the trainings that I was really creating for my team, and allowed me to say, wow, you know what? This could be so different. It could be so much more fluid, so, easier. And I could spend, more time in development with my folks, and also spending more time with my clients, which, my
Yes.
goal is really spending more time with, my sellers, my buyers. So I think looking back, I think fear does kind of get into our minds a lot. And most of what we do is, it's mental, right?
It
So
is.
you just kind of start coasting and you get really kind of comfortable.
She just blacked out. She'll be back.
Sorry, I'm back. I'm so sorry. As we're talking about the beautiful world, I'm sorry. Hopefully you can see me here in a second.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
not
okay.
yet.
No, not yet, but that's okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so sorry. That's
okay.
the thing, the beauty of all this beautiful technology, and about being complacent and even procrastinating. I should have downloaded this onto my laptop or my desktop, but instead I was like, oh, I can do this on my phone. So I am so sorry about that. Hopefully at some point it will come back on.
Surely
But
it will.
But anyways, that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing, was just learning not to be complacent, and really to, not be afraid to take the leap and to try something that maybe take you outside of your comfort zone.
So I know that you're a planner. I'm a planner as well, and you have to when you're running a business. And so when you look at your goals and your, 1 year, 5 year, 10-year goals and your end game, how has that changed, or has it changed since, say 2020, since this COVID hit? Has that made you reevaluate your goals? Cindy? She's disappeared, y'all. I see she'll come back in. Well, this is so funny because I am in my office and we've been having technology issues in my office. We have Comcast and had them for years, and they suck lately. And so, but they've had a monopoly here in the office building. And so AT&T is now allowed into our building. And so we've been on hold with AT&T for like a month now. It's just, they're just stringing us along because they're backed up because of COVID. And so I'm the one that ends up getting booted off of my own lives half the time because of Comcast. So it's quite comical that you did. Not me. You're back. I can't hear you though. Yeah, I can't hear you. No sound. Oh, it says you're muted. There it go. Try again. No sound. See, this is funny to me because I'm the one that usually has these problems. If anything's going to happen with technology, it's me. While she's trying to figure out her sound, you guys, I'm going to tell y'all something really cool about one of the other things that we have in common is the American Dream TV show. And so that is a really cool show. I don't know if you guys know about it. It's seen on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon TV, some local stations and some cable networks. But for us here in Houston, it's on Roku, Apple, and Amazon, and I think where Cindy is as well too in Dallas. But it's really cool because it differentiates us from your average real estate agent or broker. And what does it do? It shines on what you guys want to, spotlight on. Like for here in my segments, I usually will showcase one of our luxury listings. I definitely like to talk to business owners because I believe part of the American dream is having your own business. Running your own business is super hard, and if you're able to do it and be successful at it and change the lives of others, then that's the American dream, I believe. And so everybody has their own definition of what an American dream is, and that's kind of how I use my segments. I think I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yay!
I'm sorry. I had these AirPods in, y'all, and something, I think when my phone rang, it did something strange. I am so sorry. This is a reflection of why you do not procrastinate to download applications.
But you know what? It's funny because it's like, this is real. This is live. It's like we did not script this clearly.
No, and I'm glad you're able to roll with it, Tricia, because I would probably be in a little bit more panic mode.
I just laugh it off. It's like at least both of us didn't black out. Could you imagine that?
So I'm sorry, folks. But yes, as you were saying, yes, we are both on the American Dream. I'm up here in Dallas, and it really has been a great opportunity to really help leverage, the team and the business. And I've absolutely enjoyed the opportunity.
How long have you been on the show now?
Yeah, so I'm a newbie to that too. So I've done my 5th episode.
Okay.
So so about 5-6 months.
And what are you using your content for? Are you doing also listings? Are you showcasing areas? How are you using your content?
Yeah, so I've been doing a little bit of both. I've done a lot with listings, and I've used that as, kind of a strategy when I'm going into my listing presentation to show the benefits of being able to have, their home aired on a national television show and have potentially millions of people, see that. So I've done it a lot with my listings. And then I did do one that I did showcase an area, which is where I live. So I thought, hey, start with where you're most, comfortable in the area that you know. So that turned out really well. And I've had a lot of positive feedback on it.
So with COVID in 2020 and the real estate industry being first of all, before the coronavirus came along, we were already being bombarded with all these disruptors. Zillow is an Amazon giant, and then we have OfferPad and Open Door and all these people that are really trying to disrupt the traditional real estate method, which is fine. There's always going to be some kind of disruption. And then the coronavirus comes along. So it's like we're just being bombarded with stuff that is challenging us. What are you looking at in the future in ways to grow your business? What ways are you going to do? What things are you going to do differently? And what is your thoughts on how the real estate industry will be changed?
Yeah, no, I absolutely see. I mean, we all see that things are fast moving and things are changing. I think, I'm already starting to see agents that are realizing that it's almost a little bit too much, too overwhelming. There's some uncertainty. So some of the, less tenured are starting to exit the business. So I'm seeing that we, right now, especially need to find ways to really kind of sharpen our tools and just to continue doing the things that we've done that have, made us successful. So for me personally, I mean, I'm going back and I'm really spending time with my past clients. So picking up the phone, making calls to them, checking on them, seeing how things are with them and their family, seeing if I can, I reached out to someone the other day and they said that they didn't feel comfortable leaving their house. So I said, hey, let me bring you some groceries. So I went over to the local Kroger and I was like, send me some things that you absolutely need. So, I think it's just finding ways to kind of go back to the basics and really focus on, the people that have helped you get to where you're at. So, you know, I think in the past, it's been probably more convenient to say, oh, let me just spend a little money on Zillow or realtor.com and let's just try to get all these leads. But you know what? I think we have to go back and really focus on the things that we have some control over, which is the relationship piece of the business. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I've been spending time with my team on, is going back and, you know, just really looking at the sphere of people that we have in our database, and starting back to basics, really.
That's what I keep telling everyone here in my organization. You know, there's so many shiny objects out there, and there's always somebody that's got a better system and a better CRM and la, 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 la. It's just chaos. And it's like, that stuff is crippling to people. You know, it's like you need to get down to the basics and do the right things in the right order and do them consistently. And that's how you grow your business. Here's something that I was talking about in our office yesterday. It's like when we studied the market and then the market reports just came out. And so the permanent unemployment rate is up and the temporary unemployment rate is down. Well, that's down, good that the temporary unemployment rate is down, but that's not good that the permanent unemployment rate is up. What does that mean? It means that when you look at the numbers, okay, there was a lot of companies in the CARES Act that were able to furlough their employees through the end of July, and those people got paychecks and everything was fine and dandy. And those are all ending now at the end of July, and these companies are now issuing permanent layoffs or permanent, done. And so then you have the forbearance, and a lot of our clients and past clients took advantage of the forbearance. And that's not always something that gets tacked on at the end. Some of the lenders are expecting you to be able to bring your mortgage up to date at the end of July. And so I've been encouraging my team just yesterday, you guys need to reach out to anybody out there that owns a home and have conversations. Number one, are you okay? Because there's over 50% of homeowners right now that have over 20% equity in their house. But here's the deal. If they lose their job and they think they're going to go to a cash out refi, they're not going to qualify because they aren't going to be able to pay back working. So there's a potential situation there nationwide, when you look at the numbers like that. So we who are leading our team, leading our organization, we have that responsibility to tell them, you guys need to get on the phone and make sure that these homeowners are okay and that they're educated, that they know this stuff. What's your thoughts about that there in Dallas?
Yeah, no, same thing. Absolutely. I mean, I think the numbers, it's almost a false reality. You start to see, obviously, more people are going back to work, but you still see that there are some of our bigger companies in Dallas. We have a lot of, Fortune 500 companies in the, Plano, Frisco area. And we are seeing more and more people that are now, they had a temporary furlough and now they are being, it's like a permanent layoff. So they're going back into trying to reinvent themselves. And I think there is definitely going to be, a disruption in our market. I mean, we've got some both Houston and Dallas have some pretty solid, I guess we call it rescission, based communities, but it's still going to impact. So I think getting on the phone, checking to see, where everyone is at, talking about what their options are, partnering with a really good lender that, can also have meaningful conversations if they are in a situation where they do need to do something and make a move, especially if, they are losing their employment. I can't even imagine. That's got to be the most scary thing ever. So we're seeing it. I mean, I'm even seeing people that are in the process, right, of getting everything approved. And then all of a sudden they're calling me up a week later and saying, hey, my hours now have been reduced. Now what? So, I think
so when the coronavirus hit, here in our office, naturally, we weren't out looking at houses. We weren't out going on appointments. Everybody was kind of in lockdown. And at that time, the humanity kicked in. It was like, we need to check on all of our people, make sure they're okay. They're not sick. Do they need groceries? That kind of stuff. And then here things loosened up a little bit and we were getting back to normal, somewhat. Now Houston's a hot spot for the coronavirus. And And it's just crazy again. This world's crazy. And so it's like, hold on a second. Now I'm looking at the numbers and you're looking at the timeline, and now we got to bring that humanity back out, because if people aren't educated on what could happen with their house, or if no one's guiding them, if they're being misguided, they are safe to lose a lot. It's scary. And most homeowners naturally are prideful. They don't want you to know if they're in a financial situation. And so it's about having those relationships with past clients, like you just said. They trust you.
Yeah, absolutely. They trust you. You've been there for them. I think now is more important than ever. And I think it's going in there with the right mindset, the right intentions, and, really just showing them that you really care. It's not about the sale. It's about, hey, let me make sure you're okay.
Right.
So that's what I know we've been really focusing on too. And, I'd say, going back to one of the things that you asked earlier, if I have, kind of like hindsight's 2020, 2 years ago, everything was moving so quickly. And I know for myself and for the team, we weren't doing those things. And when I say get back to the basics, that's exactly what we're doing now.
I'm the same way. It's like, because we've been doing this forever. And so I'm kind of robotic. And it's like, it was always just transactional. It'd be like, okay, next. I'm just moving. Keep on moving. And it's like, that's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to be building relationships. And I tell my whole team that the whole time. I'm like, that is my biggest regret, was that I didn't stop, and nurture that relationship. Because I'm sure I have past clients, I know I do, that have bought from other people, because that's my own fault.
Absolutely.
And any real estate agent out there that's watching that is not nurturing those relationships, y'all need to learn from my mistakes.
No, sure. I agree. I think what happens is any successful real estate agent, they're moving so quickly and juggling so many hats, and they have so many clients at one time that they're working with, that you don't stop to sit back, to reflect, to do some of the smallest things that make the greatest impact, because you're constantly, okay, next, my next, So
yeah, I do know.
If you're watching this, take some time to do small things for people. It means so much, and it will really separate you from the majority of other real estate agents.
Big time. And so for people that are watching and thinking of starting a team, what do you think, when now looking back, because you're very successful at it, what are some of the things that you think are just ultra important when you're starting to grow your team? What should people do?
Yeah, so when you're starting to grow your team, I think, for one, take the time to make sure you find the right people. I think sometimes I've talked to agents and they're so excited. They're like, oh my gosh, I want to get a team. I want to hire, 10 people right away. Should I go on Craigslist? I'm like, whoa. Slow down. I'm like, take the time to make sure you hire the right people, because the people that you bring on your team, you want to make sure that you guys, it's like peanut butter and jelly. It's like, it's so good. And, you get along well, you have cohesiveness, you have camaraderie. It's really cultivating a culture of togetherness. It doesn't mean that you have to all agree with each other and you have to be all alike each other, but you have to make sure that everyone is on the same page, working for the same common goal. I've made some mistakes where I've hired people that I wasn't sure if they were the right fit, but I brought them on anyways, and it can completely take your team into a different direction. 100%. So I would say take the time to make sure you've got the right people in place, and then also make sure that if you are starting a team, that you have resources in place. So if you're, one of the benefits is that you're providing them, with leads, you've got to have systems and, different tools in place that they can see that there is a benefit and that you're helping develop them. So I would say just take your time, make sure you're at a place, with your performance and your production where you can bring, 1 or 2 people on. And then from there, it grows organically. For me, when I started a team, I swear I was like, I just wanted a small team. It was like me and 2 other people, and the 3 of us. And that's kind of how it started. And the 3 of us were all just amazing. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, I've got this person. And then one of my agents is like, well, hey, this person from this brokerage wants to come. So before you knew it, you're like, oh my gosh, now we're at 7.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yes.
And it's a great problem, but you do have to make sure you do have a strong system in place that, you know, you can really kind of just mirror everything that you've done. So that's one of the beauties of EXP, is that those resources and those tools are already there for you.
Always. It's like amazing. Hey, what is one of your biggest pet peeves in real estate? I always like to ask this.
Yeah. Oh gosh, my biggest pet peeve in real estate is when you send an offer on a Thursday morning and they say, oh, well, we're going to wait until Monday evening to make a decision. And you're like, but this is the best offer. And then, you know, you have this sweet letter and, oh no, it doesn't matter. You know, my client wants to wait all weekend. And that drives me crazy, because it's like, you know, I help a lot of military families, and they're just the best ever. And we really try to put a really strong offer in place. And then what happens is, you know, they wait for 4 or 5 days to present these offers to sellers. It drives me crazy.
I bet.
Yes.
Me too. Hey, what's your favorite area there in Dallas? I know a lot of people talk about Frisco because it's just amazing and beautiful, and I think it is too. What's your favorite area?
Actually, Frisco's great, but it's such a busy area now that sometimes I want to get away from some of all of, you know, that busy stuff. So I actually like Carrollton. It's, you know, a little bit smaller community. They've got a really eclectic downtown area where they do, I mean, not so much now, but when all this stuff goes, hopefully they do live music, and they have art festivals and, you know, music festivals and, you know, chili cook-offs, and oh, it's awesome. And there's a lot of really cool little boutiques there. So I like downtown Carrollton to get away from all the hustle and bustle of Frisco. But Frisco's great. Plano's great. There's a beautiful Shops of Legacy if you like fancy restaurants and, you know, amazing stores. I will tell you that. I like that too.
The luxury market in Dallas, how is that going right now?
The luxury market is off the hook. Yeah, it's like, I mean, you know, every little area of Dallas has one of those neighborhoods that, you know, you drive through it and you're like, wow, like you don't even realize it's there. So yeah, the luxury market, I mean, we have a significant luxury market. You know, of course the houses sit longer on the market, but yeah, we've got so many opportunities in terms of housing, from anything, you know, ranging around 250 up until the millions. So
yeah,
lots of.
So interestingly, I was teaching yesterday and I was going over a graph with everyone, and I pulled just the hottest markets in Texas, which of course are Austin, Houston, and Dallas. And we studied pretty much how it was right before the coronavirus to up to yesterday. And when you look at the graph, they all fell at the exact same time. Of course, all 3 cities just came to like plunging straight down as far as listings, as far as show, everything just straight down. And then they all started to come back up at the same time. Dallas and Houston have kind of been on a roller coaster. It was like up, down, down a little bit, then back up. Austin, interestingly enough, when Austin started coming back up, it's been like on this steady, not up, just kind of a steady growth all the way. It's not gone back down. And so when I look at that, you know, Austin's close to us. It's only a couple hours away.
Yeah.
And knowing what's going in there, it's like, holy crap, that place is about to blow up.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, Austin.
There.
It is. Oh no, Austin, I think is definitely one of those. I see that all the time. They're on, you know, when you look at top 10, you know, cities, they're always on the list. And yeah, it's a great place. I think, yeah, it's a hot spot. People like it. It's still a little smaller, but I don't think it's going to be like that much longer.
Oh, I don't think so either. Hey, for everybody watching out there, what is your future projections for real estate? I always ask people this. So I'm an optimist, of course, and there's 2 different business models out there that people project. They call it the V model, whereas 3rd and 4th quarter, we're going to be on an upward swing and home values are going to increase next year and we're going to be doing great and the economy is going to go up. Or there's the L model, whereas things are going to stay flat. More people are going to lose their jobs. Home values are going to decrease. Where's your mindset?
Oof, yeah, that's a
personal now.
it is totally. So where I want us to be is on the L.
No, you want the V.
Or the V. Sorry, not the L.
Not the L.
Hello. I want the V. I want it to go up, and I do feel very optimistic. I mean, I see here in our market when I'm, looking at all the numbers and all the graphs. I mean, listings are now starting to increase. We have, an uptick from even, 30 to 60 days ago. So we are seeing more listings, and the ones that do hit the market though, they're going like that. I mean, multiple offers, I've seen it 10,000 over the list price.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to optimistically say that we're going to head to the V. It's going to be interesting though over the next 6 to 12 months if everything continues with what we're dealing with, where in fact we will be. But I'm going to be very optimistic.
I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, and it's like once I've moved into EXP in the first few months there, we're just like learning everything new, and it's a whole different business model than having an independent brokerage, and it's like meeting new people all the time. But looking back on it, it's been the greatest thing in the world because I collaborate with the greatest of the greats. It's like they're never going to let their business go down. They're always leveling up. It's like, how do we protect our industry? I mean, Zillow's got a crap ton of money and they're just out to take us down and open door and offer pads. So it's like when we're aligned together globally now with people that are power players and people with money and ambition and drive, it's like at least we have a fighting chance now of protecting our industry. And it's with people like you coming aboard with us, and that just solidifies it and makes us united. I love it. I'm so thankful that you're here with us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think a lot of what we see out there too, and I mean, you hear it with, you look at all the graphs. I am a firm, huge believer that your mindset is such a powerful thing, right? So even when we started to feel some movement, things were slow. Obviously, you couldn't go into the homes that we have been able to do. You had to be a little bit more creative on your listing appointments, your tours. I mean, we did a lot of things with video chat. I did tons of WhatsApp on, videos. And seriously, I had 3 families in the last 60 days that have bought homes sight unseen.
That's crazy.
And it was because they couldn't get here, right? So we went and did WhatsApp. I did every little area. I did the community. And it was finding ways to try to take a situation that was a little bleak and make it more positive and continue to do what we can do. But we have to, reinvent ourselves. And anyways, but that's been helpful.
Something new that you're learning. Yeah, I love it. Hey, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, because there's probably a lot of agents especially in your area, that are like, hold on a second, you just made a switch. I need to hear more. Tell everybody how they can find you.
Absolutely. There's a lot of different ways you can, call me. Of course, my number, I can, I don't know if I can say it. Is it good to say it? Okay. Yeah. Also, always call me 214-208-4365. You can email me as well. So it's, cindy.joseph@exprealty.com. You can find me on Facebook, Cindy Joseph. I'm on Instagram, Cindy Joseph. So yeah, there's a lot of different platforms, but I'd love if you just want to ask a few questions, just find out a little bit more about, why I also, if there's any other things on why I made the move, I would be more than happy to share. And really, I'm an open book. So
I love it. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm so sorry for the little technology hiccup there. So
it's real. It's no worries. It's all good.
I know. I'm just glad. I was like, okay, I've got to figure this out because I can't do sign language.
Thank you so much. I will see you soon, Cindy.
Thank you, Tricia. You guys be
blessed.
blessed.